Hey everybody, this is kind of a passion project I've been working on, and what I wanted to do is rank all of the vinyls that I currently own. I have exactly 150 actually. It's taken, a few years now to accumulate this many, but I'm super excited to rank them how I see fit. Let you guys see what my music taste is, if it's good, bad, whatever you might think it might be. Along the way, there's going to be a lot of hot takes. This is not saying that other stuff is bad. It's just saying what my taste is. You may like something way more and that it deserves number one, and it's my number 50, and that's okay. So I hope you enjoy joining me in this process. But it's going to be a long video, so be prepared for the lighting behind, the sunshine to go down. Be prepared for my outfits to change because it's going to take a few days to record and stitch together. But I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get started. Now first I wanted to go into how I'm going to be ranking these. It's going to be, I put it into a few categories. The length and how many songs I liked on the album. So, you could have 4 good songs, but, if it's a 20 song album, it's not going to be too high on the list. Double LPs, it's harder for me to like every song, so they might take a hit. And the third and final category that I kind of add bonus points on is album cover art. Is it something that's memorable? When you look at it, you're like, that is one of the greatest albums of all time, just by the presentation it has. Because all of it is an art and a medium. These artists are spending tons and tons of money to create this art. So is it put to good uses? Does it sound good, and does it also look kind of cool as well? So in last place, 150th, the bottom of my rankings, is this Electric Light Orchestra album. It's called Out of the Blue. The only reason it is last is because I picked it up for $1, thinking it would have both discs, but it does not. It only has one. So, it's not fair to this album to get any higher than last, because I don't have all the music. So I don't even know some of the songs, because I just picked this up because it was $1, so I was like, I want to listen to more of their music. The only song that is on here is Mr. Blue Sky. I think everyone knows that one. That's on the disc I own, but I need the other disc for me to kind of fully count this and judge this album. So it's gonna have to get last. I don't even really think I would count this next time if I do like a 200. I might get 201 and count this out because I need the full thing. At 149th, we have this Ike and Tina Turner album. It's called Too Hot to Hold. I'm gonna be honest, I cannot remember a single song on this album. I've played this a few times, not many times, but I don't know any of the songs. It's kind of more just like a filler album. I got this, once again, I got for $1 at a Goodwill because I was actually looking for a piece of decor I wanted to use. I didn't even think it would work when you go to a Goodwill, but it does. It works. It sounds kind of good, but once again, none of the songs are memorable. So next, in 148. It's going to be this Jethro Tull album. It's called Heavy Horses. I got this as a gift for my grandmother. I feel bad that she spent $24 on this. I have never thought I would be into psychedelic Celtic rock, and I'm not. I will say the one song I liked on here was Acres Wild. It was fine. I went through this twice, and I think that's enough. So it's gonna probably stay towards the bottom for a long time. 147 is going to be Rolling Stone's Greatest Hits here. But it's a compilation album, and I will say, I guess this is a 4th category. I really am not the big fan of compilation albums because that's not the artist picking the art, that's just marketers putting the best songs in an album, so it's hard to judge that album fully. I don't give it as much grace. So you'll notice a lot of compilation albums are going to be towards the bottom. Also, another reason it's towards the bottom, I'm not the biggest Rolling Stones fan. I know a couple albums. That's okay, because I don't like compilation albums, so I don't really listen to this, actually. 146 is going to be a Stephen Stills album. It's called Manassas. I heard about this album on a YouTube video, and I listened to it. It's a double LP. It is extremely, extremely long, and I don't like that many songs on it. I really like the song Anyway. I like the song What to Do. I like the song Bound to Fall. But out of 3 songs, this has like 22 or 20 something tracks. It's fun, but it's really long, way too long for me. All right, at 145, we have The Joker by Steve Miller Band. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, the song The Joker is really good. It is really good. It is the only good song on this album, actually. All the other songs were pretty bad. I didn't mind Evil. I feel like they spent all their money on making The Joker a really great track, and then the rest of the songs they could not give a care about. 144 is Leather Jackets by Elton John. I'm gonna take this moment to explain that I am an extreme Elton John fan. I've listened to all of his 70s and 80s and 90s discography. The reason I haven't listened to more is because if I don't control myself on how much I intake it, that's the only music I'll listen to. But anyway, so you're going to see a lot of Elton John albums. You're going to see a crap ton. I tried to divide them up. Most of them are bad, half of them are mid, and there are a couple great ones. But definitely in last is Leather Jackets. This is Elton John, what he says his least favorite album he's ever made ever as well. It's terrible. It's very bad. There are two songs I like, and that's because I've listened to this album multiple times because I'm such a fanatic. Don't Trust That Woman and Paris are both decent songs. Other than that, really bad. The sound is terrible, the production is terrible. This is the only album he said he fully made just on cocaine the whole time, and it shows. At 143, we have Blood, Sweat, and Tears 3. It looks like this, but it opens this way, which I think is pretty cool. But other than that, nothing too much to talk about. If you know what Blood, Sweat, and Tears is, it's kind of a jam band. The two songs I liked are Heidi Ho, which I think was their number one on this, and Lou Shakrita's Reprise. And it's just a reprise, which means it's only a minute and a half. So I call that like half of a song. So not that good of an album. At 142, I have this Andy Williams album, Day of Wine and Roses. One day I saw it once again. I think it was $3 at a store one time, at like an antique shop, and I went, sure, I'll buy it, because I know I've listened to the album. There's two songs I like. Falling in Love with Love, that's a cute song, and What Kind of Fool Am I? Just some good tracks. You know, this is the crooner music. At 141, we have Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap by AC/DC. I'm not the biggest AC/DC fan in the world. I don't listen to a lot of their music. And I really only care for their hits, and that's kind of what they're good at. Speaking of which, the title track, it's a really good song. Same with the song Rocker. I like that song. Once again, just a very basic song. The song Big Balls. Don't know why they put that on an album, but they did. Over here at 140 is Nazareth. This Close Enough for Rock and Roll. This is the second album my grandma got me that Christmas with the Jethro Tull. She listens to very different music, I think. This one isn't terrible. It's just whatever. You know, I kind of forget about this a lot. They have Vancouver Shakedown, which I think is a pretty cool song. And then Carry Out Feelings actually is a pretty good song on this album. My roommate said that she's intrigued at the album art as all these fans around the car. She said, how can that be if I've never even heard of this band before? So, I guess that's one way to think of it. 139, what might be one of my first, hot takes here. Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy by Elton John. Everyone says they love this. Everyone says this is, I've heard many even people say that this is their favorite Elton John album. Meal Ticket, actually, I really like on this one. Someone Saved My Life Tonight, I think it's kind of overrated. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Probably another hot take there. And then the song that I also like, Philadelphia Freedom, that's a bonus track. That's not on this actual one. At 138, we have this CCR album. It's just kind of a fuzzy picture here. Here's the back. CCR. This is called Bayou Country. This is, CCR music. This one does have Proud Mary, which everyone loves, and I agree, it's really good. The other song I really like on this is Keep On Chooglin'. CCR is also known for their hits. You ain't gonna get anything too special. We have at 137, King Crimson's Lark's Tongues and Aspic. A lot of people, these fans, say this album's really good. I don't agree. I think there's a couple albums a little bit better than this one. I don't mind both of the tracks, Lark's Tongue and Aspic. They have two parts there. Those are fine. They're the psychedelic jam tracks that you expect with them, but I don't think they're as good as some of their other work. And I like the song Easy Money. I think that's actually a pretty decent track. And it has a cool album art. Everyone says the album art's cool. I do think it's cool. I like it. Next, at 136, we have George Harrison's 33 1/3. Yeah, this is a third good, I would say. I do like George Harrison a lot, but not this one. Dear One is really nice, and Cracker Box Palace is kind of a funny but also cool track. Other than that, you're kind of getting the run-of-the-mill George Harrison sound, and I like some of the other albums where he tries to be a little more adventurous. This is kind of just doing the motions here. So 135 is going to be The Fox by Elton John. Once again, I've heard a lot of fans say they like this one. I don't get it. I only really like Nobody Wins and Heels of the Wind. But yeah, this is like 80s, you can tell. Look, this is the 80s Elton. There's certain 80s albums of his that I like, and I don't really care for this one. At 134, we have the debut Blood, Sweat, and Tears, but actually this is their second album. This one, a friend recommended for me to listen to almost a year ago, and I didn't mind it. It was fine. More and More is a really good track. Also, And When I Die is a pretty cool track. But yeah, once again, still the jam band stuff. I think it's better than their next album, actually, so. 133, we have Billy Joel, The Bridge. This is Billy Joel in his 80s era. This is my second least favorite Billy Joel album. I do like two tracks. Running on Ice is really good. Also Baby Grand is good because he does a little duet with Ray Charles. This is definitely the Billy Joel that I don't like. 132, we have this album. It's called Get Ready by Rare Earth. Rare Earth's pretty interesting. They were like one of the only all-white bands to be signed by Motown in the 70s and made some pretty fun funk, rock, psych music. I got this from my uncle. As you can tell, it's pretty old. This is an original, so like it's all taped up. I don't mind it. It actually has some two tracks I kind of like. I like Tobacco Road and I like Train to Nowhere. And then Get Ready, the entire second side is one song. It's kind of like Echoes in metal. So it's fun. It's a jam band. I actually asked people to listen to this. It's pretty good. 131, we have Zapp's self-titled album. This does have a decent meaning to me. I'll get more into this later with another album, but I really have a love for Dayton funk music. I was able to work on an awesome story and video. We can link it of a documentary about funk music in Dayton, Ohio, and Zapp and Roger were a huge influence on that. The Talkbox, Zapp made famous, and Roger Troutman specifically. I'd say it's pretty cool sound. It's just not my favorite type of funk music. But the song Brand New Player and Be Alright, two of my favorites. And then of course you gotta love More Bounce to the Ounce, which is sampled in so much of G-funk music as we get into the 90s. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's just not something I listen to all the time. At 130, we have Rock of the Westies by Elton John. This is the last Elton John to go #1 in the Billboard 200. This is kind of a down album for him. But also when you release an album every single year, you're bound to have a couple failures along the way. I like the first two songs a lot. I love the medley. It's so fun and psychedelic. I love Dan Dare. That's a fun song. And I feel like A Bullet in the Gun of Robert Ford is okay. Nothing to write home about. And people say this has Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Once again, it's not on the album, which sucks. I think that would make this album a lot better. 129, we have AC/DC's High Voltage. TNT is what this is known for. TNT is a really good song. I love that song. Like, that's the classic hit. Long Way to the Top is pretty good. Can I Sit Next to You Girl is also a pretty decent track. The Jack is really bad to me. I hate that song, actually. It's the basic 4/4 rock. I can only like it so much. At 128, we have the KC and the Sunshine Band. I believe this is their debut because it's just the self-titled. That's the Way I Like It, Get Down Tonight, Boogie Shoes, kind of the songs you all know them famous for. It's something to put on if you want a quick listen to just, be happy and be in a good mood. They accomplished that. At 127, we have this Jim Croce album. It's called I Got a Name. It has three really good songs I love, or two really good songs I love. Lover's Cross is really good on this one, as well as I'll Have to Say I Love You in a Song. That's probably one of his more famous songs. The song 5 Short Minutes, crazy track. I'm not going to go into it, but you should listen to it. Other than that, it's just the basic folk and little blues tunes he has, which is good. At 126, this might be another huge hot take.
That sure is a hot take.
Animals by Pink Floyd. I love this album, very near and dear to me. But it is a 5-song album. These jams are a little less memorable than some of their other jams, and that's okay. and I don't listen to these jams free reign. I don't pick one out. This is kind of an album where you kind of gotta listen to it all the way through. I like Dogs and I like Sheep. Those are the two songs I really like. The Pigs ones are fine, but it's good. Love the storytelling, love the album work, love Pink Floyd. But I love a lot of their other stuff a little bit more. And so yeah, this might be a hot take of how low it is, but it's still pretty decent. At 125 here, we got Mamas and Papas, People Like Us. This is the only Mamas and Papas I own, which is kind of crazy. I have listened to all their discography. They only have like 4 or 5 albums. This is the last one actually before they break up. But I still like a couple of the tracks. I like the title track, People Like Us, is actually really, really good. Pacific Coast Highway is just such a fun, jazzy little track. Blueberries for Breakfast, kind of a weird track. It is interesting lyrics, but it's just something I've always enjoyed listening to. You want a little lazy Sunday vibes, this is gonna do it for you. At 124, I have Carole King's Wraparound Joy. People always think of, obviously, Tapestry, which we will definitely be seeing later on the list. It's still the classic Carole King sound. Jazzman is amazing. We're All in This Together is pretty good. You Gentle Me is kind of a cute ballad. I really like that one. But yeah, it's not as good as her other work, of course, but it's still decent sound, and I really do enjoy that. At 123, we have Billy Joel's debut album, Cold Spring Harbor. People always know this as the one where his vocals are sped up, so he sounds a little higher pitched. But I think it's actually, his tracks are still really good. 3 of the songs that I really love on this would be She's Got Away, You Can Make Me Free, and Falling in the Rain. Those 3 I look forward to on this album. Other than that, it's just kind of an early Billy Joel sound. But yeah, his work gets better. This isn't my favorite of his, but it's okay. It's decent work, especially for your first album. At 122, we have Pink Floyd's The Final Cut. This one is kind of, they said The Wall was kind of the built of all the stress. This is like they are just out of gas and they didn't really have too much. And I think they come back in the 90s a little bit better, but right now, yeah, this isn't my favorite. Possible Paths are pretty good. The Gunner's Dream is pretty good. Not Now John is really fun. I really like that track. This is one of my friend's favorite Pink Floyd albums, and I don't disrespect this album by means, but I think as a full album, and to me, it's not my favorite of theirs. At 121, we have Presence by Led Zeppelin, probably the one album everyone knows the least about. It's the only album where I really only care about 2 songs by Led Zeppelin, because I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan and I love all their other work. Achilles' Last Stand, it's amazing, and so is Royal Orleans. Those are great songs, but compared to all their other work, all their other albums, and the other songs on this list, on this album here, it kind of ranks low just because I don't really think about this album. At 120, this one's an odd one here. I have the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, deluxe version from the first movie. I got this as a gift for Christmas from aunt and uncle. I don't hate this at all. I think Guardians of the Galaxy has a great soundtrack, but here's the thing. It's compilation songs, it's not one artist or anything. And I'm not listening to a whole vinyl of just like score of Guardians of the Galaxy. So I only really listen to the beginning tracks, or the actual songs that they use, which are all the 70s fun hits from that movie. So I give it some point, you gotta hear all the tracks on the front side, the first side of this disc. Like the first 6 songs are really good. And then when you get to disc 2, it's just the score. So there's only so much I can say about that. 119, we have Empty Sky. This is Elton John's first ever album, his debut album. It's a decent, track. It's actually a lot different than his other music. Title track is pretty cool. The song Sails is pretty cool. I also really like the end, Gulliver, which is like a Hey Jude reprise of every other song. It's pretty psychedelic, it's fun. A lot of people like Skyline Pigeon off this. I'm not the biggest fan of that one, but it's still a pretty good album. 118, we have Somewhere in England by George Harrison. This is the generic George Harrison sound. You have All Those Years Ago that I really like on here. Teardrops is a really good one. Hong Kong Blues is kind of an interesting, fun little song. Majority of it I don't like, but I own it, so I have to say I kind of like it, right? This is definitely a cluster of Elton John albums, as 117 is Red Strikes Back. This is 1988. This is definitely like, cocaine fueled up Elton John, but it has some fun tracks on here. A Word in Spanish is a song I really, really like. Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatter's Part 2, also a song I really, really like. And the song Poor Cow is a hilarious song. I think it's really funny writing. So it's not like the best Elton sounding album, but it's fun and it's it's charismatic, and that's what Elton is. 116, we have the Rolling Stones, It's Only Rock and Roll. This is actually one of my latest pickups to get me to 150. This was my 149. Pretty fun album. It's just classic rock and roll, and that's what I kind of see the Rolling Stones as. I'm not the biggest Rolling Stones fan, so kind of more the generic rock. The title track, Dance Little Sister is a really good one, and Short and Curly's is kind of a funny track, but also I still really like it. So yeah, this isn't really known as one of their like best albums ever. It's the only Rolling Stone ones I own other than the compilation one, but it's still decent. At 115, we have A Single Man by Elton John. Return to Paradise, beautiful steel drums on that one. I Don't Care is a pretty good song, and Madness is a really, really fun song. They actually have bonus tracks on streaming, and Ego is a really fun bonus track that's not on this vinyl. But it has some pretty bad songs too. Shooting Star, I do not like at all. Big Dipper is known as one of his worst songs ever made. So yeah, this is the first album when he's not with Bernie Taupin, and you can kind of tell. At 114, we have Wings' Greatest Hits. We already know compilation albums are going to get minus points for me, also because I own some of the Wings music, so I'm not listening to this album if I already own the other tracks. But it does have Live and Let Die, which isn't on any albums, so that's always fun to have that. It has Another Day, which is on the extended version of Ram, but not on the original vinyl. It has My Love from Red Rose Speedway. I don't own Red Rose Speedway yet, so I will listen to this to get that track. At 113, we're back to Elton. We are at Jump Up. This is 1982. This is, you can tell, very 80s looking, very 80 colors. It has Dear John, which I really like. It has Ball and Chain. Ball and Chain gives me the most like Fleetwood Mac. If Fleetwood Mac were, tried to make Elton John, this is what it sounded like. I don't know why. Empty Garden, tribute to John Lennon. Where Have All the Good Times Gone is a fun one. So this one isn't terrible. 112, we have Coda by Led Zeppelin. Yeah, I kind of like this one a little bit more than Presence. Yeah, it gets minus points. It's made after John Bonham's passing. It is a bummer. But I love that they kind of put a bunch of photos of him. We're Gonna Groove is a great song. Walter's Walk is a great song, and Darlene is a great song. It's fine. It's what the best it could be in the situation they have. So at 111, we have Music of My Mind by Stevie Wonder. This is right before his classical period. Some people say this is his classical period. Love Having You Around is amazing. Sweet Little Girl is a fun song, and Keep On Running is just such a fun little jam. Almost 7-minute track. It's so fun. At 110, yes, back to Elton. I have a lot of his albums. This is Ice on Fire. This is 1985. People say they really don't like this one. I actually don't mind it. I think there's a couple good songs. This Town is fun. Wrap Her Up. It's very divisive. It's kind of a weird track with George Michael, but I don't mind it. Tell Me What the Papers Say is kind of a goofy track, but it's relatable to his situation. And Shoot Down the Moon, I think, is a really good ballad, so it's decent. At 109, we have a Barbra Streisand album. It's called People. This is one of the albums that went #1 for her, and it's actually a really nice sounding album. Absent Minded Me is really good. Do As the Romans Do is a really funny track that I don't mind. Will He Like Me is a really, really lovely song. And of course, the title track, People, is actually a really, really nice track as well. At 108, we have Christine McVie's Self-Titled. It's not her debut, she has another one. I don't own it, sadly. I really like this album. I really like Christine McVie. She's overlooked by Stevie and Lindsay, but she's just as good of a songwriter and amazing pianist. 1 in a Million is a great track. Got a Hold on Me is a great track. Who's Dreaming This Dream is a great track. But they do kind of start to sound the same. The entire album does have a little bit of the same flavor, but it's good, and she saved a couple pop hits in here. 107 is going to be Pretzel Logic by Steely Dan. A pretty good Steely Dan album, but it has some of the classics. Ricky, Don't Lose That Number. Night by Night is a good track. Pretzel Logic, the title song, is very good on here, and then With a Gun is also a song I really, really enjoy in here. But yeah, this is definitely in the middle of their discography. I don't mind it. 106 is going to be Hall & Oates H2O. I guess you can hold it this way as well, but it comes out this way. It's an interesting album. Maneater is a banger. It is probably one of their most favorite songs I love from them. Art of Heartbreak is really good. Family Man I really like. Go Solo is pretty good as well. But then they have this really, really bad track. It's called Italian Girls. Don't listen to it. It ruins the album for me. At 105, we have County Squire by Tyler Childers. I'm a big fan of Tyler Childers. I think his music and his persona is just amazing. I like Creaker. Creaker's really good. All Yorn is one of his hits, who doesn't know that one? Everyone loves that song. And then Housefire is just one you just want to stomp and holler along to. It's a really great track. I love this album art. I love his, mentality, his spirituality. 104 is gonna be back to Elton John. We have Sleeping with the Past. This is 1989. This is right before he goes to rehab. Healing Hands, I really like. Whispers, I really like. Club at the End of the Street is good. Sacrifice is what is sampled in the Cold Heart song. And yeah, the rest is kind of a slog. I do like the extended on the streaming, had a couple other fun tracks on there. That's why I like this album a lot, but without those it does kind of knock it a couple pegs. But this is actually a really good one. I really like this Elton John album. So at 103, I have J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hills Drive. I think this actually has most of his great songs. I own this the only on my own. I actually received this as a gift from a coworker. I don't mind this. This is a good one, but with these rap albums, what's really tricky about them is they're very, very long, and I don't tend to like every single song. It's a 20-song album, especially with the last song, Note to Self, where it's like 10 minutes of just him talking. It's something. But it does have some great hits. Wet Dreams, amazing. A Tale of Two Cities is amazing. GOMD, you already know it. That's a great song as well. No Role Models, amazing song. But yeah, it's kind of a long album, and that last track just really dragged. At 102, I have the Pulp Fiction soundtrack. Actually, this is a very special one to me. This is my first ever vinyl. Out of all the vinyls I own, this is the very first one I got. I got it at a Target for 20 bucks. When I got a gift for my first ever Victrola record player. No, it wasn't a good one at all, but so this one has a special place in my heart. It put me on to Jungle Boogie by Kool and the Gang. Let's Stay Together by Al Green put me onto Al Green's music. Miserlou is really good, of course. Son of a Preacher Man is amazing. And then it has some of the dialogue bits in here, which, if you don't know the movie, it's just really fun to listen to. Rounding out the 101, right here is Life and Times by Jim Croce. This is a little bit better than I Have a Name, but once again with Jim Croce, it can be a lot of those folk tracks that kind of blend together. But he has standout ones on this album too. One Less Footsteps is a great song. Dreaming Again is actually a banger to me. As we get down the list, you'll hear more and more me say that these are banger songs. A Good Time, Man Like Me, Ain't Got No Business Singing the Blues. That's the whole entire title of that song. And then, of course, everyone knows Bad Bad Leroy Brown is on this album. So it is a really nice album. It's beautiful, and it's not too long of a listen, so I do enjoy it. And finally, at 100, top out the triple digits here, is Cloud 9 by George Harrison. This is his second to last album. This is the last album he makes while he's alive, at least. It has This Is Love, which I really, really enjoy. When We Was Fab is also a really nice track that kind of has a throwback, touch. I love the lyrics in that one. Someplace Else is a beautiful song. And then, of course, the banger and the song everyone knows, Got My Mind Set on You. Amazing track to end the album. I like how he puts it very last, so you have to get through all his other music, which I think is a nice little touch there, because his music's good. And to kick it off, very, very controversial hot take, is Elton John at 99.
That sure is a hot take.
Now, people say this is his worst album ever. I think people take it when they compare it to the rest of the music of what they're expecting. They're expecting the pop and rock that Elton John is. But if you take the album as what it is, a disco album, it is a pretty decent disco album. Johnny B. Good, he does a 7-minute disco rendition of the Chuck Berry song, Johnny B. Good. That song is one of the worst songs I've ever listened to in my entire life. Not joking on that one. But the rest of the album is nice. Warm Love in a Cold World, Born Bad, Street Boogie, and of course the title track, Victim of Love. Shockingly enough, one of my most played songs of 2024. At 98, we have The Wall. This is kind of the one that doesn't have the writing on it, which I kind of like. I think I like the plain plain Pink Floyd version. This one, of course, has Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. That's the one everyone likes. I like actually Part 3 as well. That's always a fun version. It has the song Mother, which I really love. It has the song Young Lust, which is amazing. Hey You, and of course Comfortably Numb is amazing. But the thing about this album, it's very long. I think it has like 25 songs on here because there's a lot of small songs, snippets. Because it is kind of a movie, it's a soundtrack, it's many different things. So it's hard to listen to the entire album. I think album-wise it can be tricky at times because it is so long. At number 97 is Brat by Charlie XCX. This one came out recently, of course, in 2024. It's a certain type of sound that you're looking for. You're gonna achieve that. It starts to get kind of long. It is like 16 songs. It can be very sluggish. 360 is good. Club Classic is good. Talk Talk, Von Dutch, Apple, 365. The only thing I don't like about this album is that it doesn't have the song Guess on here, because I know that's on the special ones, or she had to come up with 4 different other versions. And that's my favorite song on this. But I like the visual here. At 96, we have Take Care by Drake. This is the other album my coworker gave me with that J. Cole one. I really like this one. This is probably one of my favorite Drake albums. I don't know if it's my favorite. Listened to a few of them. It's the only one I own. But yeah, there's 19 songs on here. I don't like all 19. I only like about 5. But the 5 I like are amazing. You have Headlines, you have Take Care, you have Make Me Proud, you have Cameras, and you also have Practice, which I really like on this album as well. It doesn't have the motto, at least it says on this, it doesn't have the motto. There's extended extra songs, which sucks because that is a really, really good song that everyone loves. 95, we have Rush's 2112. Side 1 is just the song 2112. And though it's nice, it's a lot, so I don't really listen to that just offhandedly unless I'm listening to this final. But the second side is really good. I like A Passage to Bangkok. I think Lessons is also a really great track, and Something for Nothing is an amazing rocker. People say this is one of their favorites. I think there are a couple better ones, but yeah, it's pretty good. Number 94, we have Dr. Dre's 2001. Once again, this is a really long rap album. It's 22 different tracks on here. It's a double LP. So it is a slog at times, but I do like a good amount of the tracks. I like about 8 songs. I like The Watcher, I like Still Dre, of course. Explosive is good. Forget About Dre, the next episode are classics. Murder Inc. is really fun. Housewife is really cool, and Bang Bang. But yeah, it's a slog at times, and listening to the whole thing can take up a good chunk of your day. 93, we have Tusk by Fleetwood Mac. This is when they just had to do a double LP after Rumors. And it's just a very long album. Once again, these double LPs a lot of them sit right here in this ranking because it is so long and it's hard to like every single track. But once again, there's about 8 tracks I like, but there's 20 songs on this album. The Tusk, of course, the title track Tusk is one that probably people know the most from this one. But I also like The Ledge, Save Me a Place, What Makes You Think You're the One, Brown Eyes, and Beautiful Child. Never Forget is, I think, the best song to close the album. And so this is a fun one. And I, of course, love The Little Dog. 92, what I originally had as my favorite Rush album, probably a few months ago, has now dropped in the rankings just a smidge here. 92, Hemispheres. Hemispheres is the entire first track, which I don't listen to in my free time other than when I'm listening to this album, so I don't really think of it too much. But side 2 has 2 amazing tracks. The Trees is amazing. I think the lyrics are amazing. I think the drumming, of course, by Neil Peart and the Woodblocks is absolutely beautiful. And then La Villa Strangiato, probably one of my favorite Rush tracks of all time. I don't know if it's my number 1, but it's definitely close. And interesting artwork. Naked man standing on some brains here. So gotta give it a little bonus point for that. At number 91, we have Catch Bullet 4 by Cat Stevens. This is the only Cat Stevens albums I listen to at number 1, so I've listened to that on the Billboard. Angel Sea is really good. 18th Avenue is really nice. Freezing Steel is cool. And O Coritas, or Corinitas, however you want to say it, probably my favorite track on this album. yeah, it's nice. It's some good pop songs, a little that folky pop. And at number 90, we have another Rush album, the third one here in this little chunk right here. Farewell to Kings. This one has, of course, Xanadu, which I think is one of the longer tracks that is more memorable and I love. Closer to the Heart is amazing. And Cinderella Man is also a really nice track. So it has 3 really nice tracks that I'm a big fan of. And at number 89, we have Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player by, of course, Elton John. Who else? He's the man I own the most discography of. Prime Elton time, this is when all of his albums are going number 1. Of course, you have Blues for Babies and Me, you have Midnight Creeper, you have Mercy and the Criminal, which I love those tracks. And then you have Crocodile Rock. Some people love it, some people hate it. It depends on the mood I'm in, if I want to listen to that. It's a good album. You have Rush, Fly By Night. It's amazing. I love this album so much. Anthem is amazing. Between Behind is great. By Toy and the Snow Dog, banger. When I listened to that song for the first time, it was a magical experience. And then Fly By Night, of course, is really good as well. And then you got the cute little owl, which I really love. At number 87, we have King Crimson's In the Wake of Poseidon. This one kind of goes overlooked a lot in their discography, but this is their second album right after their debut, and I love it. I think this album art is beautiful. So beautiful. Bonus points of why it's ranked so high. I love looking at this. The songs Peace in the beginning and in the end are both amazing. Pictures of a City kind of, harken back to the last album, of course, with that jam track that's just beautiful. And then Cadence and Cascade is beautiful, but they're keeping up with amazing album art, and I love that about them. Number 86 is going to be Fulfilling This First Finale by Stevie Wonder. It opens this way, but the title and the picture look better when it's this way. But this is, of course, Stevie's classic era. I really like this one. You Haven't Done Nothing with the Jackson 5, which I think is amazing. Smile Please is great. Love Is 10 Zillion Years Away. And of course, Boogie On, Reggae Woman. I love that song so much. So yeah, this is definitely his classic period. I love this album. 85, we have Madman Across the Water by Elton John. I actually don't listen to this one too much because everyone, rants and raves about Tiny Dancer, but they don't really know any other songs on this track, on this album at least. Tiny Dancer boosts it a lot in this ranking. That's an amazing song, of course. Everyone likes Leave On, not my favorite song. Razorface is good, and then Madman Across the Water, and then Rotten Peaches I also really don't mind on this album. So yeah, it's a good album. This is, like I said, we're getting to the decently better Elton now. We're starting to get to the pretty good Elton, and this is definitely one of those. 84 is going to be Missionary by Snoop Dogg. This is his latest release, just released this year, or 2024 I guess. Just like most rap albums, it's very long. Out of the Blue is great, Gorgeous is amazing, Last Dance with Mary Jane and I think is beautiful, Fire is good, Gunsmoke, or Guns and Smoke with 50 Cent and Eminem is amazing, Sticky Situation is pretty good. I usually, with other Snoop Dogg albums, I don't own a lot of them, but I listen to a lot of Snoop Dogg. I like more songs. This one is actually the least liked Snoop Dogg album I listen to. I also love that the album is a condom. It's a condom wrapper is the vinyl, so you gotta give it bonus points there. Number 83 is going to be Tumbleweed Connection by Elton John. Another one that's very overlooked. This is his Americana folk album. Country Comfort is amazing. Son of Your Father's good. My Father's Gun, an amazing track. Talking Old Soldiers is good. Burn Down the Mission is good. It also has this book on the inside with the pages of the lyrics, the personnel. I love that. But yeah, I like pretty much half of this album. 5 out of the 10 songs are really good on here. I totally recommend people listen to it because it's highly overlooked all the time. Really like this album. Number 82, we have All Things Must Pass. Now, I know a lot of people would say, that's crazy, All Things Must Pass is one of the best albums.
That sure is a hot take.
It is. Here's the thing. It's 3 discs long. So to listen to this album, you have to listen to 6 sides of music, which is can be a very big slog. It's a book. You gotta open it up and there's the discs in there. It's a huge book of music. My Sweet Lord is a banger track. Amazing. I'd Have You Anytime, Let It Down, Apple Scruffs, All Things Must Pass. Art of Dying, I think, is extremely underrated, and I think that's one of his best tracks ever. So they are all great songs. I love all of the tracks that I just mentioned, but it's just super long. The last side is just jam tracks too, so I don't know if you're really into that. For 81, I have the White Album by the Beatles. Now this kind of has the same syndrome as the last one. Good tracks, amazing tracks, but extremely fucking long. It's 30 songs, but I do like a good third of them. Back in the USSR is amazing. Obla Di Obla Da, Bungalow Bill, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, amazing. Happiness is a Warm Gun, amazing. Martha My Dear, Blackbird, amazing. I Will, Your Blues, Helter Skelter, Revolution 1. Revolution 9 is pretty bad. It's like, 9 minutes? Just a looping track. People say it's artistic. I think it's drug-fueled, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. 30 songs here. So that's a slog, so I'm gonna have to knock it on that. 80, we have Queen's Greatest Hits. I wish I could put this lower. Of course, it's the greatest hits, so you like most of the tracks. And I don't own a lot of Queen albums. I actually only own one Queen album at this current moment. So, it fills the need when I want some Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody, Little Bites of Dust, Killer Queen, Fat Bottom Girls, Don't Stop Me Now, Crazy Little Thing Called Love, Somebody to Love, Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy, a lot of love, I guess. Seven Seasons of Rye, We Will Rock You, and We Are the Champions. It's amazing. It has the song Bicycle Race, which I wish, that is also one of the worst songs I've ever listened to. I hate Bicycle Race. But yeah, it does its purpose for its current time, but once I get more Queen albums, this is definitely going to drop down in the rankings. For 79, I have Lil Yachty's Let's Start Here. This was, I think, a career renaissance album for Mr. Yachty. It is just so fun to listen to, especially when you're in that psychedelic mood. You're going to love this album. It's fun. It still has some of his classic moments, but he just, adds so much more rock and flair and production into it, and I think that just makes him so much better. This is what he was missing. Black Seminole, Running Out of Time, Drive Me Crazy, Reach for the Sunshine, Paint the Sky, all those are really great tracks. But it's a double LP, it's a rap record, can't rank too high because it is kind of long, but still very nice. Number 78 is going to be Dawn FM by The Weeknd. I got this for my birthday a few years ago. There's a lot of different album covers. This one's very cool. I like this one a lot. The album discs are also like silver, which I love. But yeah, this is like some 80s music by The Weeknd. This is honestly my favorite Weeknd album. This is amazing. I really love this. Out of Time, Sacrifice, I Heard You're Married, Gasoline, Take My Breath, Less Than Zero. Those 6 tracks are absolutely amazing. However, it's a double LP. There's 16 songs on here. Can be a lot to get through at times, especially because it is that same 80s synth noise at times, but it's good. And of course, shout out Jim Carrey. So bonus points for that, bonus points for the album cover. 77, we have Barbarella by Carlos Santana. We're definitely reaching, 77 right here in the middle area of this ranking. So these are starts when stuff starts to get really good and it's hard for me to rank them. So, more hot takes might be incoming, but anyway, Barbarella, this is a really good one. I actually just picked this off of a shelf for $5. Never heard it before and just listened to it, just first listen on the vinyl, and it was good. Life is Anew is great. Give and Take is also good. Aspirations is wonderful, along with Mirage and Flor de Canela. It's not the classic hits that you're gonna remember, but it's still Carlos Santana. You're having some amazing guitar playing and some just amazing percussion. At number 76, we have Breaking Hearts by Elton John. I think the early 80s, he had a quick little stint of making decent music. And this album actually grew on me. When I first listened to this, I was like, whatever, there's like 2 songs I liked on it. Listened to it a second time, and I loved it for some reason. Restless is amazing. Who Wears These Shoes is one of the songs I've loved for a while. Passengers is funny and cool. Did He Shoot Her is also a song I've loved for a while. And of course, Sad Songs is this one everyone remembers that he still plays. a little renaissance in the 80s that I really like this music. So this is actually a good underrated album. At number 75, we have Katie Lied by Steely Dan. It's that Steely Dan sound. It's before, you know, the Dad Yacht Rock Asia Steely Dan sound. This is still their early stuff, but it's just as good. You got Black Friday, you have Chain Lightning, Daddy Don't Live in New York City No More, Dr. Wu is an amazing song that I think everyone should listen to. Everyone's Gone to the Movies is really good. Half the album is great. 5 out of 10 songs I constantly listen to. Highly, highly recommend this album. 74 is Queen's debut. Yes, it's the only Queen album I have, but I think this is one of the albums I like the most. It might be my favorite. I don't know at this current time. This is more the rock, the more psychedelic, the more out there approach rather than their stadium rock that they, you know, turn into later on. Keep Yourself Alive is amazing. Great King Rat is great. Liar is an amazing track. You should definitely give that a listen. Son and Daughter is nice. And then the little tease of Seven Seas of Rye, you know, they make it better in the follow-up album, but this is a little teaser here. It's still really nice. Number 73, we have 1983's Too Low for Zero by Elton John. I love the little album cover, very minimalist, but it has the colors that kind of fill in the holes here. Yeah, people say this is one of his like Renaissance albums. I agree. I think it's really nice. Coldest Christmas is amazing. I'm Still Standing. Everyone loves. It's a classic. Too Low for Zero is good. I guess that's why they call it The Blues. Is another one of his amazing hits. Kiss the Bride is fun. But yeah, the second half of this album kind of drags, and it's not as good. But that first half definitely gets you pumping, get your blood running, and you really like this. Now this might get a lot of hate, but at number 72, I have the debuting Led Zeppelin album.
That sure
Now,
is a hot
like
take.
I said, I'm one of the biggest Led Zeppelin fans. I love Led Zeppelin. They take a lot of inspiration from other stuff. They're kind of more to just playing covers to get well known, and then they make better music. And I'm not saying this music is bad at all. You have Good Times, Bad Times, one of the best opening tracks of any album ever. Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You to follow that up, amazing. And Dazed and Confused. But yeah, Communication Breakdown, a lot of people like. It's not my cup of tea. But yeah, the second side, it's not my, like, what I listen to a lot. I listen to a lot of their, I just know they're gonna get better, so I listen to that music more. At number 71, we have Dangerous by Michael Jackson. When I ordered this from a record store. I didn't realize I was gonna get the colored vinyls, which can make the sound a little less quality than just a normal black vinyl. But I would give it bonus points because, you know, it's cool to look at the discs like that. It gives it a fun little art. Probably my least favorite Michael Jackson album, at least when he goes solo, you know, into the 70s and 80s, late 70s and 80s, not his like early kid stuff. Jam is good. In the Closet is one of my favorite songs of his, same as Remember the Time. Probably those two are in my top 10, maybe even top 5 favorite Michael Jackson songs. Black or White is good, it's a classic. Give In to Me I really, really enjoy. Keep the Faith is also really good. But compared to other Michael Jackson albums, I usually like more than half. This one I like just about half. So 70, we have Pearl by Janis Joplin. I think this is, you know, one of those albums that everyone talks about, and I agree, it's worth listening to. It's an amazing album. Move Over, Cry Baby, Buried Alive in the Blues is an amazing instrumental there. Me and Bobby McGee is everyone's classic that everyone loves. And then Mercedes Benz is a short little track, but it's perfect. It matches the album and the art and the mindset Janis Joplin is in. Number 69 is going to be ABBA, The Album. Don't know why they called it The Album, it's just what it is. It has a couple hits, but it also has some nice deep cuts. Of course, it has Take a Chance on Me, which everyone knows and everyone loves. The Name of the Game I really like. Hole in Your Soul is a fun rocker, which they occasionally can throw in there, which I really like. And then, of course, it has Thank You for the Music, which is so underrated and probably one of my favorite ABBA tracks ever. Thank You for the Music is absolutely amazing. You're going to get that ABBA music. I don't think it's their best album ever, but it's the only one I own of theirs at this current time. But it's good. Number 68, I have Wild and Peaceful by Kool and the Gang. Like I said, that Pulp Fiction album, my first ever album, put me onto them, and I fell in love with this album. I love this album. I got this from my uncle as well. This is an original. It's very kind of damaged, actually. The outside is pretty damaged. Funky Stuff is just absolutely amazing. Jungle Boogie, of course, I talked about earlier, still one of the best tracks. Hollywood Swingin', of course, is sampled, but just the track alone is by itself amazing. And This Is You, This Is Me is also a really, really fun track with some... Honestly, I should listen to more of them. This is really the only album I listen to fully, the only one I own of theirs. But it's amazing. But number 67, we have Elton John's self-titled album. Obviously, this is not his debut. This is the second album he made, 1970. Everyone knows this for Your Song, which I'm not even giving it the title of banger. I am giving it the title of Certified Hood Classic. Your Song is probably one of my favorite songs of all time. It is amazing. Take Me to the Pilot, beautiful track. That's a fun rocker there. The first episode of Heintin is a slower one, but it's really, really nice. 60 Years On is also just like that. Same with The King Must Die. Beautiful song as well. Border Song, once again, one of those catchy ones that everyone knows. Highly, highly recommend this album. People only know it for the hit, but I say the rest follows suit. Number 66 is Mirage by Fleetwood Mac. This is kind of their more, they failed at Tusk, commercially, so they kind of went back to basics with Mirage. Can't Go Back is really, really good. Gypsy, everyone loves. Only Over You is one of my favorite Christine McVie songs on there. Straight Back is really good, and Hold Me is also a really nice track on here. Kind of back to the basics for the Fleetwood Mac here, but it's nice, and so it's a decent listen. 65, we have Houses of the Holy by Led Zeppelin.
That sure is a
I know
hot
people are
take.
saying, like, what? This should be towards the top. This is some of their favorites. Houses of the Holy is not my cup of tea when it comes to Led Zeppelin and what I'm looking for. Once again, these songs are bangers. The Crunch is amazing. Dire Maker is great. No Quarter is beautiful. Banger of a track. And then The Ocean is also a very nice song. People love the Rain song. People love Over the Hills Far, Far Away. Those are not what I look forward to when I listen to Led Zeppelin. I don't know why. I've listened to this album probably 4 times. Just on the vinyl. That's not counting on my phone. That's not me, listening to other tracks that people show me off this. I just don't know why. It's not my favorite Led Zeppelin. So this is definitely a very hot take. 64, we have Santana's debut, or self-titled as well. This is an amazing, amazing album. I also love the cover art. It's a lion, but the more you look at it, there's more pictures you start to notice in here. It has Waiting, it has Evil Ways, it has Savor, it has You Just Don't Care, it has Soul Sacrifice, which is beautiful, beautiful, and the percussion, the jam, the tightness of their band that they have here, it is gorgeous. At 63, we have 21 at 33, titled because this is Elton John's 21st album, and he's only 33 years old. Chasing the Crown, I don't think it's slow at all. I think it's an amazing jam track. Little Genie is a beautiful little love song. Sartorial Eloquence, I didn't like it first, but I've grown to love. White Powder, White Lady, I don't really love, but it's a really funny track because it's just about his coke addiction that he talks about. Never Gonna Fall in Love Again and Give Me the Love are both amazing tracks that kind of have that more R&B type feel to it, at least, old R&B type feel to it. 62 is From the Fires by Greta Van Fleet. Now, this is kind of an LP, but it's still a record I own, so I'm still going to rank it accordingly. Edge of Darkness is good. The cover of Change Is Gonna Come, of course, maybe can't beat the original, but it's an amazing cover. A wonderful, wonderful rendition of that song. Highway Tune, Talk in the Street, and Black Smoke Rising, you're gonna love. And the great thing about this album, it's only 8 songs. I like more than half of it, just over more than half of it. It's a quick listen. 61 is I Am by Earth, Wind & Fire. Some people say this is one of the best albums ever made, but to me, it's definitely just over better than half. In the Stone is an amazing track. Also shout out, University of Dayton. I love that song there. After the Love Is Gone is amazing. Let Your Feelings Show is such a fun jam. And then of course you have Boogie Wonderland is just, certified hood classic there. I'll give it that title on that one. And then Rock That is also a great, great track. So I do love this album a lot. The whole band here. That's kind of fun album work too. So yeah, if you're in for a happy mood, put this on. You'll never be upset. 60, we have Glass Houses by Billy Joel. Once again, I think just around half of it is great, and it's pretty much the first half. The first half of this album is just beautiful. If there was only one side of this album for some reason, probably be way, way higher. You may be right. Don't ask me why. It's still rock and roll to me. All for Lena, people also enjoy. I love that first side. And then side 2, the song I really only care about is C'est Toi. The other second half, not the big fan of. So just around a half. 59, we have Led Zeppelin 3. This is actually grown. This used to be probably my second least favorite next to Presence. It took me a while till I bought it, but once I did, I've actually grown in love for it. It has Immigrant Song, which of course everyone knows. That's the, popular song everyone knows. But I think the best song on there is Bron Your Stomp. That is a certified banger on there. I also love Gallows Pole and Out on the Tiles are also really nice songs. And what I also love about this is you can spin the artwork underneath, but I always keep it on my boy John Bonham. 58, we have, at least to me, the best, more concise George Harrison album, Living in the Material World. I think, and people can say All Things Must Pass is better. There are definitely songs that I think are better, but it's not as much music, and I think this is a more concise album. Title track is amazing. Give Me Love is amazing. Sue Me Blues grew on me, and it became a really nice song that I love to listen to. Don't Let Me Wait Too Long. Try Some Buy Some is really nice on here. I don't think it has Bangladesh on here. It does not. That's a nice fun bonus track on here. But this is definitely probably my favorite George Harrison album. I love, love, love this album very, very much. Here's definitely where the hot take comes in. 57, we have Princess and the Frog soundtrack, of
That
course.
sure is a hot take.
Is this only really 28 minutes? Yeah, because it's a very short soundtrack. Is it amazing? Yes, it's an amazing movie. It's an amazing soundtrack. It's great. I got this as a gift from my parents. They saw it and they know that this is one of my favorite Disney movies. There is a song by Neo on here. That's probably the worst song on here. I just care for the soundtrack. I don't really need the whole Neo track. I rank it highly because it's pretty concise. It does exactly what I need it to do. It's a quick listen and I love pretty much everything on it. And now back to more legitimate rankings here. At number 56 we have Blue by Joni Mitchell. Some people put this in their top 10 albums of all time. I think it's great. The longer I've owned it, the more I've loved it. It's All I Want, Carrie, This Flight Tonight, River, A Case of You, California. They are all amazing, amazing tracks. And I probably will like more, and this might go up on my ranking the more I listen to it. 55, we have American Teen by Khalid. Now people saying this is higher than Blue might freak out. I think it's just more, I've had this for a really long time. I got this might have been like my 5th record I got it for Christmas from my parents, and I fell in love with it. The first 7 songs are amazing. As we get to side 3, it's fine. It has Winter on the side 3, which I really, really like. And then of course the last song, Angels, that kind of brings it into that concept album. I don't know, this did something to me when I was, just getting out of high school and listening to this, so this just has that emotional attachment to it. I think as we get deeper into the ranking, you'll see I have attachments to certain albums because of the emotions or the storytelling and the context that I love a lot more, and why not? It's a medium, it's a specific time and place that these musicians create music, and I think that's what can make it better. At 54, we have Christopher Cross's self-titled debut album. Speaking about context, to come out with a debut album and it wins multiple Grammys, we just don't see stuff like that anymore. 5 amazing songs I really don't know anymore. Never Be the Same, Ride Like the Wind, The Light Is On, and of course, Sailing. Beautiful, beautiful tracks. It's a great listen. It's not too long. It's pretty, what it says out to be. And it's just an amazing sound. Pretty much one of the best yacht rocker albums to me at least. 53 is King Crimson's debut, In the Court of the Crimson King. Once again, your debut album being, probably the best in their discography. I believe that this is their best album. They really just hit the nail on the head with this one. Amazing artwork too. It's famous for this artwork. It's beautiful. It's kind of creepy, it's kind of scary here, but I still love it. I pretty much think it's almost a perfect album. I think that Epitaph is kind of not that good, and especially Moonchild. That one's a little too abstract for me, but of course 21st Century Schizoid Man, I Talk to the Wind, and Court of the Crimson King are some of the best songs they've ever made, probably their top 3, my favorites of mine. 52, what people might have in their top 5 of all time. is Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Now, I absolutely adore this album. I love this album.
That sure is a hot take.
It's just, it is pretty long, I think, is the thing that takes it away from me, and I don't love every single song. There's about 16 tracks on here, and I like just about half of them, 7 of them. Lost Ones is good, X Factor is amazing, Doo Wop, Final Hour, Every Ghetto, Every City, Everything is Everything, of course, and then, of course, you have the extra songs of I Can't Take My Eyes Off of You, which adds that extra little bonus of love to it. It's absolutely beautiful. If you've never heard this, that's insane. This is a pivotal album, I think, in American music. At 51, we have Billy Joel's Piano Man. I think this is way more than just the song Piano Man. Some people may disagree. My roommate definitely disagrees. If you've seen the Billy Joel video, she does not like this album at all. Captain Jack is amazing. Traveling Prayer is goofy, but such a good jam for what this theme is setting to be. Worst Comes to Worst, Stop in Nevada, Ain't No Crime are all just kind of that same feel, but just so good. They all get this man who's kind of, just going along and making tunes as he travels. I don't know, I think that just conception of that is so perfectly put down on this album. 50, maybe a controversial take because it's pretty unknown, but Ambrosia, Life Beyond LA. I was shown this by a friend. I fell in love with this pretty quickly. The title track is amazing. If Heaven Could Find Me, How Much I Feel, Dancing by Myself, Angola. Those are all tracks I can listen to pretty much non-stop. Dad rock, yacht rock sound. And I really, really dig that sound sometimes. That's why I think I have such a love and affinity for it. 49, I have Flower Boy by Tyler, the Creator. It's my only Tyler album I own at this current time, but I've listened to all his albums. I actually just went and saw the Chromacopia tour. It was absolutely beautiful. For me, once again, it is kind of long. It's about 14 tracks on here, and I don't love all 14 of them. This is a little, people say all of his are concepts, and I can see that. I think this is a little less concept compared to like Igor, but it still has some amazing songs. Dropping Seeds, Boredom, Glitter, November, Who Dat Boy with A$AP Rocky is amazing. When This Flower Blooms, and of course the one everyone knows and loves, See You Again with Kali Uchis. Long, but like I said, that's the negative thing about rap or R&B albums at times, is it can they do make them a lot longer. 48, we have Steely Dan's Can't Buy a Thrill. This is their debut album. The entire first side is amazing. You can listen to the first side, not a skip on there. Do It Again, Dirty Work, Kings, Midnight Cruiser, Only a Fool Would Say That. That's just the first 5 songs. First ever 5 songs for this band on an album, and it's some of their best work. Side 2 starts off with Reeling in the Years. Amazing. After that, I don't really like their last 4 songs, but that's still okay. 6 out of 10 songs, and some of them being their best work, puts it really, really high. You can't hate it. It's a fun album cover art too. And you just gotta give it respect for being so good as their debut. At number 47, we have 30 by Adele. This is the only Adele album I own. I think her other albums are a little bit better. People don't give it as much credit as it should deserve. This is such a mature album, and pretty much the whole album, I could find a way to love almost every song, but I love pretty much 8 out of the 12 songs here. The first 2 sides, pretty much, I like, other than like Can I Get It? It's fine. That one seems a little tacky to me. But then you get to side 2, Woman Like Me, and the third side is amazing. And then the side 4, To Be Loved, is one of my sob songs. Like, I listen to that if I'm in a sad mood. It is probably one of her best tracks that are so overlooked, but it's just so rich. At 46, we have Stankonia by Outkast. This is actually the last album I just bought to get me to 150, which I love because I don't have any Outkast, and I thought that was such a shame because I've listened to all their albums, and I was like, no, I need to have at least one in this ranking list. Might be my favorite too. This is probably my favorite of theirs. But once again, it's a double LP, it's 15 tracks, it can be a good amount. And with all the interludes that they have, especially on this album, It's more like 20 songs if we're counting that, but some of them are only like 30 seconds, so I try not to count that. But there's about 15 songs on here, and I only like about half of them, but the 7 that I like are some of the best songs they made. So Fresh, So Clean is a banger. Miss Jackson, certified hood classic. Gasoline Dreams is amazing. B.O.B. or Bombs Over Baghdad is amazing. We Love These Hoes, Humble Mumble, and Toilet Tisha is just more of dark subject matter that they still make into such good music, which I really love because that just shows the craftsmanship and the storytelling that these artists are amazing at, so a lot of respect. At number 45, we have Invincible by Michael Jackson. Once again, when I got this album, I got it with The Dangerous, I got it as an order. Once again, I didn't know it was gonna come as like the printed discs. I kind of wanted, the actual album. So it does get a minus point, but also a bonus point. It kind of equals out because I love the colored discs. They're kind of just his face of the album cover, but different colors. This album is extremely underrated. Extremely underrated. I would say the only thing I don't like about it is pretty long. It has about 16 tracks on here, but I love about 9 of the 16 tracks on here. Unbreakable, Heartbreaker, Break of Dawn, Heaven Can Wait, You Rock My World, Butterflies, You Are My Life, Whatever Happens, and Threatened are all amazing Michael Jackson tracks. You can't hate this. I don't know why people seem to overlook this album. It sold millions of copies, went to number 1. They just compare it to his other albums and say it's bad, but I totally disagree. It's just modern R&B. He took 2000 R&B and ran with it, and it did so good. He has a track with Biggie in Unbreakable. He has a track with Carlos and Santana with Whatever Happens. Don't overlook this. This might even rise in my rankings. 44, we have Control by SZA. This right here, I believe, is the definitive best SZA album. People say SOS is good. I mean, if you want to take the Lana Deluxe into account, maybe, but that's still a lot of music. It's just so concise. I think it has a really great concept, and I think her storytelling and writing is way better on this one for some reason. Not that SOS is bad in any which way, but this I think is just better. First side is amazing. You have Supermodel, Love Galore with Travis Scott, Doves in the Wind with Kendrick Lamar, Drew Barrymore. On side 2, it has The Weeknd, which I freaking love. Side 3 has Broken Clocks, Anything. And side 4, I love the final track, 20 Something. A song that I can just relate to probably the entire rest of my 20s. It's just an amazing song. At number 43, we have the self-titled Fleetwood Mac album. Obviously, this is not their debut. This is like their 12th album or whatever, but this is the first album with Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. So this is the revival, pretty much what people would say, of Fleetwood Mac. And it is. It's amazing. It's just beautiful. You have Monday Morning. Rhiannon is a certified banger. Over My Head, another amazing Christine McVie track. Say You Love Me. Landslide, who doesn't love that, and World Turning is also really good. You can tell this is the start of something, and it's only going to get better. At 42, we have Carlos Santana 3, his third album. It's kind of hard to see the album out here. This is an older copy for sure. This has songs maybe not as well known, but just as amazing. Batuka, No One to Depend On, Tucson Lubichair, Everybody's Everything, Wahida, Para Los Bomberos. 6 out of the 9 tracks here are absolutely stellar. The guitar work is, of course, amazing. The percussion is amazing. The groove, the tightness of the band, just on all cylinders, great. 41, what Rolling Stone said was, number 1, the best album of all time. I think it's great. I think it's freaking amazing. But it's going to be Marvin Gaye's What's Going On.
That sure is a hot take!
Concept album. I think this is his best album by far. Just the ideas and the storytelling he wants to tell in here is just so good. The title track, of course, is amazing. Save the Children, Mercy Mercy Me, Right On is such a fun groove. And my favorite, it's a banger, Inner City Blues. Probably the best song to me on this album. It is so good. Once again, I would say this is one of those albums where it defines American music. Truly amazing. GNX at number 40 by Kendrick Lamar. This might rank high just because of recency bias, but it's amazing. Squabble Up, Luther, Hey Now, Reincarnated, Dodger Blue, Peekaboo, Gloria, All those tracks are amazing. I also got it on a blue vinyl, which kind of peek this a little bit here. Blue vinyl here. There's a reason why he's good. There's a reason why he does the Super Bowl. It's because of this. 39, we have Gemini Rights by Steve Lacy. I think a lot of people make fun of it because of the song that blew up from him, but I really think this is just a perfect album. It's pretty damn near close to a perfect album. The entire first side is just absolutely amazing. Static, Helmet, Mercury, Buttons, and then of course Bad Habit. And then on the second side we have Amber and Sunshine. A really quick listen, it's not too long. I think it's only like 38 minutes. It's just amazing work. I hope he comes out with more music soon. I want to listen to better albums by him because I know he has some great talent. 38, we have Abraxas by Santana. I said we would get to the second one soon. This is Santana's definitive best album. We got Black Magic Woman. Everyone loves that song. It's a banger. Another banger right after, Oye Como Va. That is absolute banger. These are so good songs. And then you got Se Acaba, which I really love, El Nicoya, and Mother's Daughter. This is a very old copy of this. I got this from my uncle as well. And I love this. I listen to this whenever I need just a fun groove in my life. 37, of course, it's been a while. Got to bring Elton back into this. It's his 1974 release, Caribou. Now we're getting to really the good Elton albums that I really love. This was a ranked way higher when I first started this list. It was like number 12. It's dropped a bit since I've really kind of taken a look at the track list, and I don't really listen to too many of the songs as I thought I did. The Bitch Is Back is amazing. Pinky and Grimsby and Dixie Lily are all great. You're So Static, amazing. And then you get to side 2. I've Seen the Saucers, highly underrated. I don't know why no one doesn't like that song. I think it's amazing. Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me is, of course, the well-known track from this album. Same with The Bitch Is Back. But yeah, you do have Stinker and Ticking and Solar Prestige, which I'm not big fans on. I think they're not really his best sound, but I still really love it. Now this one's blown up recently, TikTok and such, but 36 is gonna be Grace. I liked this before it got all, social media famous. I was shown this by a friend who said this was his favorite album of all time. Of course, the title track, Grace, is amazing. Another great track on here is Lilac Wine. I love that song very much. So Real, such a good track. His cover of Hallelujah, people also know. And then of course the one that's blew up and is very popular right now, Lover You Should Come Over. Yeah, probably certified banger, certified hood classic, probably put that up there. And then Eternal Life, I really like as well. There's a couple songs I'm not the biggest fan of, Corpus Christi Carol and Mojo Pin, the type of music he's making, and then of course, the sad future shortly after this album just makes this so much better. 35, we have Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. This might rank way higher for other people.
That sure is a hot take!
For me, I love Pink Floyd. I mean, I'm wearing a Pink Floyd shirt right now. But I don't think this is their best work, but I think this is amazing work. As we're reaching these top 40, as I've said, all these albums are damn near close to perfect albums. I do love 6 of the 10 songs I absolutely adore. Breathe, Time, Money, Great Big Gig in the Sky, Us and Them, and Brain Damage. If you want to, give someone like an extraterrestrial experience to music, you gotta play them this. If you've never heard of this, you're totally missing out on what music could be. You gotta listen to it. It's damn near perfect to me. Other people say it's perfect, and I totally let them believe that. That's a great, I'm not saying that that's wrong in any way. 34, is Band on the Run by Wings. Now, if I made this ranking, if I had 150 albums and I made this ranking a year ago, this might be my top 10. My love for this was exponential. This was one of the first albums I owned. The more I listened to it, the more I realized side 2 isn't as good as side 1, but side 1 you have Band on the Run, of course. The title track is amazing. Jet, I try to love. Everyone else loves it. It's not my favorite, but Bluebird is amazing. Mrs. Vanderbilt is amazing. Let Me Roll It is a great track. 1985, I love that track. This was in my top 10 a year ago, and I thought it was a perfect album. The more I've listened to it, the more I kind of critiqued it. This really got me through college, and I'm thankful for that. I love this album. The same can be said for number 33, which is Let It Be by the Beatles. I thought this was a perfect album at the time too. Probably was just in my top 10, just outside of it, but the more I listened to it, the more I realized it is just a kind of a cut up, a bunch of different pieces of songs that they didn't really finish. But I still think it's great. You know, it's Beatles music, and I think towards the end of their discography is their best sound to me. Two of Us is a beautiful song that I hold very near and dear to my heart. Across the Universe, I feel the same way. And then of course you have I Be Mine, what I think is George Harrison's one of his best songs. Let It Be, which I think is a little overplayed for me. But then yeah, you got I've Got a Feeling, and The Long and Winding Road, which I think I like the orchestral, you know, that Phil Spector did. And then of course Get Back is damn near close to a perfect album. 33, I'm going to say that a lot as we get through these albums, but it's because they're all hard to rank. At 32, we have Metal by Pink Floyd. Yeah, I do think this is better than Dark Side. I think it's more full. I think it's kind of just wraps around. I almost like pretty much every track. I love One of These Days, Pillow of Winds, Fearless, Saint-Tropez. Of course, I'm not a big fan of Seamus. I don't think anyone is, with the dogs barking. But then side 2 is an entire whole song, and that is Echoes. Everyone loves Echoes. I think the live version's obviously better, but it's good. I sometimes, you know, might not listen to it if I'm not in the mood to listen to pretty much a 26-minute song. This is damn near right to a perfect album. At number 31, we have Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John. People say this is his best album. I disagree. I think it's because it's a double LP. It is pretty long. Has about 18 tracks on here, but I only like around half of them. And you're saying, well, you almost like almost every other song on the other albums. Well, these 9 tracks are pretty much some of Elton's best music, and that's why I love it. You have the title track, Love Life's Bleeding, Funeral for a Friend, Benny and the Jets, Candle in the Wind, Jamaica Jerk Off, Sweet Painted Lady, All the Girls Love Alice, and Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting. How can you find 9 tracks just as good as that on one album? Number 30, this is very controversial here. Battle at the Garden's Gate by Greta Van Fleet. I immediately fell in love with this when this came out. I remember when this was released. I was a freshman in college, and I loved it. This was the reimagining, you know, of Led Zeppelin, but for us in our modern time, and I think it was great. And pretty much 9 of the 12 tracks are great. Heat Above, My Way Soon, Broken Bells, Built by Nations, Age of Machine, Tears of Rain. My Love is really good, and then on the 4th side you have The Barbarians and The Weight of Dreams. Really good rock music. Sure, they might take their inspiration from some of the stuff and whatnot, but they do it well. The vocals are amazing. Check it out. You know, don't put hate towards it. At 29 is their best album, Steely Dan's Asia. This is amazing. I pretty much almost like every song on this album, about 5 to 7 tracks I love. The first side is amazing. Black Cow, Asia, Deacon Blues, and Peg, amazing. I'm not the biggest fan of Home at Last and Josie, but I Got the News on side 2 is also a great track. This is pretty much Steely Dan at their best. If you haven't listened to this, once again, pivotal American music here. You gotta listen to this. This is amazing. At 28, we have An Evening with Silk Sonic by Silk Sonic or Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. This is once again almost perfect. There's about 9 tracks on here. I like about 7 of them. The intro is amazing. I even listen to that just even if it comes on my phone. I put it on my playlists. Leave the Door Open, Fly As Me is probably my personal favorite. After Last Night is great. Smoking Out the Window is the radio hit everyone loves. Put on a Smile is great. And then 777. I don't like the last 2, Skate and Blast Off are kind of the 2 that I don't really listen to. But man, is this good. Please, I hope they make another album. At 27, we have Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. Now, I only own this in Missionary, but this is probably Snoop Dogg's best, and it's his debut. G-Funk intro is amazing. Gin and Juice is the one everyone knows, but I don't think that's the best song. The Shiznit is amazing. My personal favorite song on this album, La Di Da Di, amazing. Murder Was the Case, Serial Killer, Who Am I, G's and Hustlers, and Pump Pump on the last side. And for being a double LP, it doesn't feel too long. Just so cool. You know, a fun, provocative comics. Led Zeppelin 2, of course by Led Zeppelin. Gosh, you thought the first one was good. They were just getting hyped up. Number 2 is leagues better. Whole Lot of Love, banger. And then you have the Lemon Song, Heartbreaker, Living Loving Maid, Ramble On are all great tracks. And then to give John Bonham, pretty much the best rock drummer in my opinion of all time, his own track, Moby Dick, absolute certified hood classic. I give that song. It is so good. I love, love, love this album. Number 25, I have Ram by Paul McCartney. Everyone knows it for that goofy track, Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey, but it's way much more than that. This is pretty much near perfect. Honestly, I wish I had the extended version on vinyl because I love even the extras that they didn't put on here. Too Many People is great, Three Legs, Ram On, Dear Boy, Uncle Albert, Smile Away. That's just side one. I will listen to that, no skips. Side two, Heart of the Country, Monkberry Moon Delight. And the second half kind of starts to drag, Eat at Home, Long Haired Lady, in the backseat of my car I don't really listen to. But man, almost a perfect album here. It's so goofy. People say this is one of the first indie pop. 24, this is definitely a controversial one. It's gonna be Blue Moves by Elton John.
That sure is a hot
this
take.
Is the first album for a while in the 70s where he didn't go number one, but I don't know why. This album, the more I listen to it, the more I love it. Every time I put it on, I love it just a little bit more. Starter for Tonight, One Horse Town, Chameleon, great tracks. Side two, Boogie Pilgrim, Crazy Water, Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word, Out of the Blue, Between 17 and 20. Those are all amazing tracks. And then you get to side four, and it's just totally switches the vibe. It's amazing. Where's the Charade? If There's a God in Heaven, such a fun track. Idol, and then Bite Your Lip, Get Up and Dance to end the album. Such a wide array of music, yet it's so good, especially by such a band that really knows each other at this point, which is just a bummer because he splits up the band right after this. You know, Elton goes his own way and it gets worse. Physical Graffiti by Led Zeppelin. God, this is amazing, amazing rock music. This is why I love Led Zeppelin. They are just absolutely killer at what they do. Custard Pie, In My Time of Dying is just probably the best 12-minute track I've ever heard. It flies by to me. I never feel like it's 12 minutes. Houses of the Holy, Trampled Underfoot is actually my personal favorite Led Zeppelin song. That's gonna get a banger on that set list. Kashmir, of course, everyone knows. In the Light is great. Down by the Seaside is beautiful. The Wonton song is fun. And Black Country Woman, such a little jam. That's why I'm saying you get so many different emotions, vibes, feelings from this. And to do that on a double LP, especially after all the music they've already created. At 22, we have Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles. Out of the 11 tracks here, I love 7 of them. They're so good. Blue Jay Way, you know, people shit on the first side, but I really love Blue Jay Way, Your Mother Should Know, and of course I Am the Walrus. What a goofy song, but that is what this album is. It's supposed to be goofy and fun. And then side 2 is amazing. Hello, Goodbye, Strawberry Fields Forever, Penny Lane, and All You Need Is Love. Damn near perfect. 21, I have Copycat by Billie Eilish. This is really quick, it's just like an LP, amazing music, almost a perfect album. It's just incredible to me. Out of the 8 songs, I really like 6 of them. Copycat, I Don't Want to Be You, My Boy, and Watch. The first side, perfect, no skips. As we get to side 2, I don't really care for Hostage or Party Favor, but Bellyache and Ocean Eyes, once again, beautiful, perfect. Such good production, sound, vocals at just such a young age, and there's so much talent you can see it only gets better. It's the only Billie Eilish album I own at this point, but gosh, is she amazing. 20, a classic in people's high ranking list, Carole King's Tapestry here. This is, you know, some of the best writing you'll ever hear. It's just so good and so real. You can just tell this comes from the heart. Even the look of the album cover just makes you want to enjoy this on a Sunday morning, and that is exactly what this encapsulates. Just someone thinking about their life on a beautiful Sunday morning. I Feel the Earth Move, certified hood classic. It's amazing. But then you have tracks like So Far Away, It's Too Late, Where You Lead are all great. Way Over Yonder is a pretty decent track, kind of iffy on it at times. And Natural Woman, of course, people think of it as an Aretha Franklin song, but she wrote that for her, and she has an amazing cover it as well. So definitely, if you haven't listened to this album, once again, adding that to the list of American music albums you need to listen to. Carole King's Tapestry. 19, we have 52nd Street by Billy Joel. This is, you know, one of my favorite Billy Joel albums. It's so good, at least that I own. I sadly don't own The Stranger. If I owned that, it might even be higher on this list. Big Shot, Honesty, My Life are all great. Zanzibar is a banger of a track. Half a Mile Away and 52nd Street are just all great. A couple, sure, I don't like Stiletto and Rosalinda's Eyes, I'm not the biggest fan of, but gosh, this is damn near close. Great, great album. If you haven't heard this before, you gotta listen to it. At 18, another controversial one here. I'm sure people say this is #1 of all time. Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. Once again, it is great. I love this, but there's also 21 tracks on here. Do you listen and love all 21 tracks? I don't know. I don't know if I can. However, I do love 13 of them. Double and a half albums, because there is another bonus 4 songs that come with this. Have a Talk with God, Village Ghetto Land, Contusion, Sir Duke, I Wish, Knocks Me Off My Feet, Pastime Paradise, Ordinary Pain, Isn't She Lovely, Joy Inside My Tears. As is a fucking amazing song. Ebony Eyes and All Day Sucker are also class on the extra songs. Like, you'd think you'd be done with him, but then he adds 4 more songs and you still want to listen to him because it's just that good. So I can see why this could be ranked high, and I might rank it higher, but it is a lot of music to get through. At 17, I have In Through the Outdoor by Led Zeppelin. On the inside, of course, is the guy sitting in the bar. I don't know why people shit on this, because here's the thing. You gotta take the context into this. Sure, it doesn't sound like the rest of their music, but you have to take the medium as what it is. Kind of like what I did with Victim of Love. If you're going out of this as, comparing to Led Zeppelin music, sure, it might be sound different or not as good to you. But if you take it into the example that 2 of the band members were heavily involved with drugs, the other one wanted to write more music, and the 4th one, was still struggling with grief of losing a child, and they still went #1 with this music, I think you'll really tend to love it. In the Evening, a banger. It's amazing. Fool in the Rain, certified hood classic. It's awesome. Southbound Soiree is great. Carousel Alhambra for being 10 minutes. It's a goofy track, but I love it. All My Love and I'm Gonna Crawl is great. Absolutely amazing. They still know what they're doing through all the troubles and trials and tribulations. So if you take it as that, you will really find that this is damn near a perfect album. At 16, we have Purgatory by Tyler Childers. Gosh, this is, when I first bought it, I only liked about half of it. Now since owning it, I almost like every single track. I Swear to God, Feathered Indians, Tattoos are all amazing. White House Road, amazing. I don't really care for Born Again. Purgatory, Honky Tonk Flame, Universal Sound, and Lady May, all amazing. I don't really care for Banded Clovis. So about 2 tracks out of the entire album I don't really listen to, but other than that, this is amazing. What Tyler Childers' sound is, and he just captures it perfectly. Number 15, Boston's debut album, self-titled. And I'm gonna be real, I love every single song on this album. The reason, I could even say it is a perfect album. I guess 4th unsaid category that I didn't really say at the beginning of the video on the rankings, it doesn't lack that emotional connection that I really love with it. As we get to the rest of the albums, I really feel and I see the difference. These 8 tracks can kind of mesh at times, but they're all great 8 tracks, More Than a Feeling, Peace of Mind, Foreplay, Rock and Roll Band, Smoking, Hitch a Ride, Something About You, and Let Me Take You Home Tonight. All great tracks. I can listen to all those. I can listen to this front to back and enjoy it. But they do kind of start to metal after a while, and they lack that emotional touch that I am missing. Number 14, Thriller by Michael Jackson. This is, damn near perfect as well. I will say Thriller is kind of overplayed for me. I don't really care it's hard to listen to it just on a vinyl in the middle of an album. Same with The Lady of My Life. Out of all the tracks to end the album, you would think Human Nature might end it, but Lady in My Life is the only track I don't really care for. Honestly, I don't really listen to that. But the rest is great. Wanna Be Starting Something, Baby Be Mine, The Girl Is Mine, Beat It, Billie Jean, Human Nature, and PYT. It's all its hits basically on one album. That's how good this album is. Got the little picture of the tiger here. This is not my favorite Michael Jackson album. At 13, we have this album by Phaso. It's called Riding High. And now you might be wondering, why the hell is that here in your top 15? At number 13 here? Because of the emotional connection that I was talking about. I was able to meet the keyboardist and vocalist for this band, Keith Harrison, while I worked on a documentary for Funk Music. I will put that documentary in the description of this video for sure, that you have to check out it was so fun to learn about funk music and Dayton, Ohio's funk music, and pretty much I see that as the birthplace of funk music. You know, he signed it here, Keep Funk Alive from Chop Chop, that was his nickname. Title track, Riding High, has been sampled more than 100 times in R&B, G-Funk music. But it also has You and I Belong Together, True Love, Get Some Booty, and Test. Those are all amazing tracks. You will find a love for this. It grew my love for funk, it grew my love for sampling, it grew my love for just music in general as I got to, meet the people who created it, but also just listen to this and see how they created it. I love this. I love this album. It's near and dear to my heart. Sure, it's not as perfect as Thriller, but to me, this just holds something in the realm of music that is so important. At number 12, we have Honky Chateau by Elton John. This, to me, is the best Elton John album here. Pretty close to perfect. I love this album. This has my favorite track, Honky Cat, as my favorite Elton John song of all time. But then you have Mellow, I Think I'm Gonna Kill Myself, Susie, and Rocket Man. That's just the first side there. All those are perfect. Amy, Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters, and Hercules, which are all different sounds, all different stories, and just all fun. This one was like the 50th anniversary one, so the disc is gold, which gives it that extra Elton John little sparkle there. Elton John is super pivotal to me in my life and music and why I love music. He is my favorite artist, if you couldn't tell from the ranking, all of his albums here. And this album just does it for me. I wish I could put him in the top 10, but there are just some albums that I love a little bit more. And at number 11 is, to me, the best Michael Jackson album, Off the Wall. It looks like this, but it opens like this, so I kind of hold it like this sometimes. Fun fact, Rod Temperton worked on this album. The person, who also worked with Rod Temperton? Heatwave and Keith Harrison with the funk band with Phazo that I was talking about earlier. But this, to me, is the better Michael Jackson album. You have Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Rock With You, Day and Night, Get on the Floor, Off the Wall, I Can't Help It, Falling in Love, Burn This Disco Out. All those are amazing. And yeah, sure, it's more of the disco funk album, but that's the type of music I've noticed I love a lot more. I love being able to groove, I love being able to feel with him. So I think this is the better Michael Jackson album. It gets you in a fun mood, it gets you happy, and it makes you just love music. At number 10, we have Tango in the Night by Fleetwood Mac. God, this is amazing. Out of the 12 songs here, I love 9 of them, and I don't just love them, I just have such a close bond with them. This is Big Love, Seven Wonders, Everywhere, Caroline, Tango in the Night are all great. Little Lies, Family Man, Isn't It Midnight, and You and I, Part 2. It's just so beautiful. I love Fleetwood Mac. I have such a deep love of their story and how they're able to turn that into just great music. At number 9, I have Rubber Soul by the Beatles. Once again, out of all the 14 songs, I love about 10, 11 of them because it's the Beatles and they're just good at making fucking music, right? Drive My Car, Norwegian Wood, You Won't See Me, Nowhere Man, Think For Yourself, The Word of Michelle, Girls, I'm Looking Through You, the Certified Hood classic In My Life, and the song Wait. It is really good. I love this album. This is a pivotal changing moment in their music. You start to see that, you start to feel the change. At number 8, we have Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. This is magnum opus level here. Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, Backseat Freestyle on side A. Side B, you have Money Trees, Poetic Justice, Good Kid, and also Mad City. Practically a perfect side there. Side C, you have Swimming Pools and Real, which I really like. And then on side D, which are just bonus tracks, Compton, The Recipe, Black White Fly, and Now or Never are all amazing. This is so close to being perfect because it is just an awesome, amazing concept album. At number 7, Exodus by Bob Marley. This is almost existential how powerful this album is to me. Pretty much everything on this album is great other than Turn Your Lights Down Low and Guiltiness. I don't really care for those 2 tracks, but other than that, the 8 out of these 10 tracks are just some of the best music, just emanating peace and love when you feel it. It's not even about when you hear it, but when you feel this music, it just does something to you, and that's exactly what this band and Bob Marley set out to do. At number 6, the best Beatles album to me, of course, is Abbey Road. this usually ranks up there for most people, and it's the same for me. Come together, something, Maxwell the Silver Hammer, Oh Darling, Octopus Garden, and I Want You, She's So Heavy. Side 1, no skips, perfect songs. Side 2 has Here Comes the Sun, You Never Give Me Your Money, She Came Into the Bathroom Window, and then you kind of have the whole medley there. Golden Slumbers carry that weight in the end. Overall, this is the most contentious but the most beautiful work by the Beatles. I love this. Just encapsulates every sound that they've been through, their journey together, and of course the end just hits the final nail in the coffin on this wonderful group. Number 5, we have Inner Visions by Stevie Wonder. This album inspired What's Going On for Marvin Gaye, and I can see why. This is absolutely amazing. All in Love Is Fair and He's Mr. Know-It-All are the only 2 tracks I don't really care for, but everything else is amazing. You got Too High, Visions, Living for the City, Golden Lady, Higher Ground, Jesus Children of America, and my personal favorite banger song on this is Don't You Worry About a Thing. This album has so many different stories, so many different conflicts and missions it's trying to accomplish, and it does so perfectly. Racism, sexism, drug abuse. I think his style and artwork is just fun and Afrocentric, which I love. At number 4, who else? Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. This is pretty much perfect. The only song I really don't like on here is Oh Daddy. If you replaced Oh Daddy with Silver Springs, this might be number 1 of all time. This is one of the best albums of just the context just makes this so much better too. Just showing 5 people at their wits' end, all at each other's throats, and make the best album, one of the best albums of all time. Secondhand News, Dreams, Never Going Back Again, Don't Stop, Go Your Own Way, Songbird, The Chain, You Make Lovin' Fun, I Don't Wanna Know, Gold Dust Woman tells this overarching story of love, deceit, anger so perfectly. I love this album. Number 3, this was actually originally number 2. I bumped it to number 3 last minute while recording this, is this special Led Zeppelin, Yellow Zeppelin. This is a bootleg. This is recorded. And you might say, well, how do you compare that to compilations? How do you compare that to, other things? Because I don't really own too many of these. It's the only one I have. The reason this is this is the perfect capstone for why I love Led Zeppelin. This was recorded on January 5th, 1969. A few weeks before their debut album sold to America, so no one knew who Led Zeppelin was. This is when they first started going by the name Led Zeppelin. They played this at the Whiskey A Go-Go in Los Angeles, one of the most famous bars at the time in the 70s to play rock music. This was just a band figuring out who their sound was, and you can tell the audience, you can tell that they're cheers and clapping, but when they play, you can tell that these people are in awe by the sound these 4 individuals are going to make for the next decade, which is absolutely insane. It doesn't really matter about the tracks, of course, As Long As I Have You, I Can't Quit You, Train Kept a Rollin', Babe I'm Gonna Leave You, Getting Ready, Dazed and Confused, a live version of that before it even went out, and that first album was amazing. Killing Floor is what would become the Lemon song, and For Your Love, and then of course, 100 times bonus points for how rare this is. This album cover of them recreating Yellow Submarine by the Beatles. The vinyl's also yellow, which I've learned is rare. Very, very rare. I heard there's only a couple 100 copies. Maybe they made more. Maybe that's why I was lucky enough to find this. But maybe not. And if it's not, and this is super rare, that's why it ranks so high. This is very, very important album to me. But that means that number 2 is going to be Led Zeppelin 4. Now this is a perfect album. All 8 songs here are perfect. Stairway to Heaven, Four Sticks, When the Levee Breaks, Battle of Evermore, Black Dog, Rock and Roll, To the Last Man You Detail. Even how the sides play is perfect with 2 rockers, a slower track, and then the epic. This is why I love Led Zeppelin. This band has made me love music way more. It made me love drumming a million times more. This is just so powerful. And that is Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. This one comes with a little outside caster, but you know the album cover of The Burning Man, shaking hands. This is the perfect album. This is the perfect album. There is nothing better that I've ever come across, even just listening to on phone or anything that I own. This is the best album ever made to me. Shine On You Crazy Diamond to start and to end the album, talking about friendship and loss and grief. And then in the middle talks about, anger with, the businessmen that control their music lives and Have a Cigar. Wish You Were Here, one of the most well-known tracks of all time that everyone just feels so much emotion to, about love and life and really taking a step back. And then of course, Welcome to the Machine, that sense of stepping outside yourself and you're looking at yourself in this huge world with billions of people in it. All that conceptualized on a single disc in 1975 in England. Insane. I can listen to it front to back. There's no skip. There's not even a second that I would skip out this album. That's how perfect it is. So thank you for joining. I know this is a really long video. It's probably going to take me forever to edit, but I appreciate you guys listening to this, me ramble and rant. I hope this encourages you to start your own collection or start your own list. If you have any differences and agreements, please put them in the comments. And there's no wrong opinion. I think music is a beautiful medium that's able to help people get through life, express emotion, and show specific times in the world. And maybe I'll do a re-ranking at 200. I probably will. I'll convince my brain that I need to do it again. But thank you so much for joining. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, tune into other videos that are made on this channel. This was just a really fun passion project that I wanted to do so bad. But yeah, tune into other content here by all of our, all the great people, me, Claire, Kai, Jackie, Liana. Thank you so much. Love you guys all, and have a great day.